The Skinner Auto Group in Richfield Springs and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to John and Erica watching in Oneida.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. Today we are beginning our trek along the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway. We're beginning at the southern tip, Herkimer, so come along with us.
Today we're exploring Herkimer, so stay tuned for goat cheese and local wine, some recent history, and some Mesozoic.
So proud to call it my home. Oh, it's not what you take or give, and it's here I want to live. Yes, I'm making this valley my home.
Today at 2 o'clock, historians Faye and Frank Cittadino will present a special program with the release of their new book in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Clinton Historical Society. That's today at 2 o'clock at the Clinton Historical Society on Fountain Street in Clinton. It's time for the Skinner Auto Group road trip. We stop into Skinner Auto in Richfield Springs, where Roger is overseeing their express lane fast oil change. Bring in your vehicle and enjoy coffee in their lounge, and before you know it, your car will be ready to roll. We're enjoying the spring weather and exploring the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway. You can start in Herkimer or Little Falls. It's been quite a few years since we last visited Herkimer, so we decide to start there. And what better place to start than Main Street at the historic Four Corners. The 1884 Herkimer County Historical Society Museum is open for free tours weekdays from 10 to 4. The artifacts from the 17 and 1800s help tell the story of the early settlers of Herkimer County.
The German Palatines were the first ones to settle in what was known as Stone Ridge at that time in 1722. They came here from Rhineland, Germany. They settled along the Mohawk River. This area was part of the Burnettsfield Patent that was signed in 1725. Eventually, the name was changed to Herkimer in 1857 after General Nicholas Herkimer. I remember you were here a few years ago and we talked about the famous Chester Gillette Grace Brown murder trial. Well, today we're going to talk about a new murder that that has not gotten a lot of publicity. A new book has been written by Jim Greiner. He's Herkimer County and Town of Herkimer historian. And he's written a book all about the murder of William Druce. The murder took place in 1854. It was December 18th of that year. Roxalana was the wife of William Druce, and they didn't have a very pleasant marriage. They argued a lot. He had threatened her life a couple times. They had a daughter, Mary, a son, George, and a nephew, Frank Gates. And they all lived at the house. And one morning, well, I should say December 18th, she decided to do him in. We don't know if she went temporarily insane or she just decided to get rid of him. And so what she did is she shot him. She had some of the children help out with the murder. She got an axe, and she asked the boys were young, they were in their early teens, and she had them go upstairs, and she had Mary stay with her. And she chopped her husband's head off and then chopped him up into smaller pieces and burned him in the parlor stove. Burning flesh gives off a very bad odor, and the neighbors wondered what was going on. So some of the neighbors did go and investigate, but she kept up with a story that Mr. Druce had gone to New York City. Well, finally they decided, well, maybe we should go to Herkimer, get the sheriff, and do an investigation, and they did do it. And one of the boys finally told what had happened, and Roxy was arrested, brought to the Herkimer County Jail, held on the 3rd floor, and Mary was put in jail for a year, and the two boys were released. They were too young. The trial took place at the courthouse that still stands today, and Roxy was found guilty. And the hanging took place out back of the jail on February 28th of 1887, 125 years ago. It was significant because she was the last woman hanged in New York State. And this was at a time period too when women's rights was just starting, getting its early grassroots, and they tried to get Roxy off because of the abuse from Mr. Drews, and it didn't happen. It was an all-male jury at that time.
I am here at the historic Four Corners on North Main Street. It is so filled with history. The building behind me, for example, housed two very, very interesting people in the history of Herkimer County, namely Roxy Drews and Chester Gillette, both of whom were executed, right? Yes, back in the days when there was capital punishment in New York State. It was in this very courtroom that Chester and Roxy both were tried. And these benches that I'm standing in front of, these are the benches that existed way back then, so that if you sit in one of these, you're sitting in a bench that spectators watch those two historic trials. I am sitting in the jury box that was here back for both of those trials, and it was from this very spot that the foreman would stand up and say, "Guilty."
Stay tuned for more from Herkimer after the break. Watch Mohawk Valley Living every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 11:35 p.m. on WKTV. And check out what's new on MohawkValleyLiving.com. Back in 1945, Skinner Auto began as a small dealership on the corner of Routes 20 and 28 in Richfield Springs. Today, Hiram Skinner is proud to have his son Roger at the helm, continuing the tradition of service to the customer and the community. In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the fourth generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Allie Lynn's Home and Accessories for distinctive gifts. For the whimsical. For the bride. For American made. Allie Lynn's Home and Accessories, West Park Row in Clinton. Why do contractors and do-it-yourselfers shop Lincoln Davies? It's the superior grade lumber, the value for the money, the 140 years and 6 generations of customer service. Since 1872, Lincoln Davies has delivered superior lumber, value, and service, and they're not about to change things now. Celebrating 140 years at the same location, just 10 minutes south of New Hartford on Summit Road between Routes 12 and 8. Lincoln Davies, building them like they used to. It's the Palm Sunday open house at Chester's Flowers. Enjoy the duckling display on Saturday, March 31st and Palm Sunday, April 1st. Floral designers showcase their talents, and Chetty the Rabbit will be there, so bring your camera to the Palm Sunday open house at Chester's Flowers. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit YannickExcavating.com. You'll find treasure around every corner at Cobbler & Company. 12 rooms filled with eclectic gifts for your friends and family, home and garden. Cobbler & Company in historic downtown Sharon Springs.
I'm gonna dirty my fingers, paint my toes, stay up all night and watch the
Special thanks to Turnbull Insurance Service and Mark and Jim Turnbull. Their continued support makes the show possible.
I'm gonna eat lots of cherries, I'm gonna see the town, I'm gonna lay in the sun till my
We learned a little about life a few hundred years ago at the Historical Society Museum. Let's learn about life a few million years ago at the new Herkimer Community Museum, located behind the Herkimer Public Library. The museum opened earlier this month, the result of a collaborative effort by Herkimer County Community College and local community organizations.
Well, we have two main exhibits here at the museum. One is what we call the Mesozoica exhibit, which is what you see behind me, which is dinosaurs. And then we also have an exhibit of King Tut, treasures from the tomb of King Tut. We primarily wanted this museum to be an educational resource for the public schools, and not just the public schools, but the school children in Herkimer County. And we were thinking what would appeal most to the children, and of course dinosaurs came to mind immediately. But we had a number of excellent collections that are on loan to the college, Herkimer County Community College. And among them is this wonderful collection of replicated artifacts from the tomb of King Tut. And so that's how the choice was made. We thought those were the things that would really appeal to children. Plus, both of these exhibits relate to school curricula, things that school children are studying, ancient Egypt, and of course, dinosaurs and evolution.
The new Herkimer Community Museum is located behind the Herkimer Public Library, with parking behind the library at 301 North Prospect Street. It is open from 11 to 2 on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Just being Loretta,
A great day to visit the Dinosaur Museum is this Saturday, when nearby Myers Park on Bellinger Street will be converted into an Easter egg neighborhood. The annual Easter egg hunt is at 10 a.m., and children age 1 to 10 can hunt for Easter eggs as well as dinosaur eggs. You can then stroll to the museum just 1 block away.
bit me and then walked away. She cleaned my aching wounds, and then she bandaged up my heart. And me and Loretta, I'll never forget her, but now she's gone away.
We didn't even recognize PK's Pub because when we visited a few years ago, it was buried in construction. One thing is still the same: the place is hopping with locals who know a good thing when they find it.
Well, we redid the whole outside, all new siding, all the way through, all new windows. We built the banquet facility on the other side, seating for about 55 on there that we use for the overflow for weeknights, for private parties, for everything. You know, I've been blessed. I got some great guys in the kitchen, myself and some other guys, past and present. Food's been fantastic, and I think that's what people look for around here. I think they want a good bargain and they want good quality, and I think we've been able to do that right along. So.
PK's Pub is located on the corner of King Street and Pleasant Ave in Herkimer. They open at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday for lunch and dinner, and Saturday at 4:30 for dinner.
Music in the valley, and there was music in the air. There was music all around me. There was music everywhere, and I heard music everywhere.
The Herkimer ARC provides services and is a resource for people with disabilities. They operate Herkimer Industries on 4th Avenue, providing package and product design and manufacturing. They recently renovated and expanded into a historic building on East German Street, where they are currently packaging products and manufacturing boxes for local businesses.
This is our business park. It's 120,000 square feet. It was built in the late 1890s. We acquired it in November of '09. And about a year and a half ago, we got very serious about refurbishing it, and we're looking to develop more business manufacturing opportunities in one wing of it. And on the other wing, we're looking for commercial leasing, real estate, offices, and things of that nature. Well, the Herkimer ARC employs people with disabilities and other barriers to employment. We actually serve about 700 people a day with about 400 staff that provide those services. And in our work component, which is Herkimer Industries and the business park that we're in right now, we serve about 150 people in actual job site and actual job opportunities. Well, we have a number of state contracts. We do a lot of we have a lot of contracts with the New York State Police, environmental conservation, park police. We do a lot of their uniforms. We have a number of other sewing contracts that we're involved with, both on the state and the federal level. In this particular business park, we're doing work for packaging tissue for Wegmans. We have a large box manufacturing contract for Remington Arms. And we're looking for a variety of different operations to be able to employ our people in real life activities and skills. You know, I think just like anything else, work is a great form of rehabilitation. It gives you focus, it gives you meaning, it gives you purpose, and I think these opportunities that we provide for the folks that we support allow them to move forward in their lives and live more enriched lives, and that's what we all look for.
This building was built in the late 1890s. It is so good to see buildings like this not just being used to store things, but being used to employ people and to employ them meaningfully. This place is just buzzing, and it's a good feeling.
You can support the work of the Herkimer ARC by shopping or donating at the Goodwill store at the Herkimer Commons Mall on Albany Street.
For a day, a week, a year, or sometimes maybe more. Little bit of love can make this life mean so much more.
We smell breakfast cooking at the VFW. And guess who we find busy in the kitchen? It's Roger Skinner.
Hey, this is the annual Rotary breakfast, and we do this annually because it's called annual. And we have all-you-can-eat breakfast. This is our money maker that we contribute to the local charities. And, there's 26 Rotarians that get together and make a breakfast for everybody. It's all you can eat. If you come down, I'll make an omelet. That's my job. I'm going to make omelets.
Are you good at it?
I'm pretty good, yeah. Don't get in my way, though. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Come on down to the VFW on Mohawk Street in Herkimer for the annual Rotary all-you-can-eat breakfast from 8 to noon. There's sausage, eggs, home fries, French toast, and Roger Skinner's made-to-order omelets. Stay tuned for more from Herkimer after the break.
Oh, it's not what you take or give, and it's here I want to live. Yes, I'm making this valley my own.
The automobile has gone through many changes through the years, but the Turnbull family's commitment to local drivers has not. Researching and selecting the best coverage for you with unparalleled service, claims handling, and settlement. Turn to a local company with 4 generations of knowledge and experience. Turn to Turnbull.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospitals on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment, and you're only available on the weekend. Sure, I have an appointment Sunday with Dr. Karen. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
Call Maria's Pasta Shop to reserve your party trays for Palm Sunday and Easter. You and your guests will enjoy homemade lasagna, ravioli, manigat, or stuffed shells. Call 797-6835. Meelan's Meat Market has your Easter specialties like store-made hams and kielbasa, leg of lamb and roasts, featuring low-salt, low-fat smoked ham and kielbasa. Try their famous crown roast of pork or prime rib. Meelan's Meat Market, your one-stop shop at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. Where can you find fair trade, local, and organic gifts like Dean's Beans coffee, fresh bulk almonds and cashews, and hand-dipped candles and local pottery? Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. The dessert booth is now open for dinner on Friday nights. Enjoy vegetarian seafood or the popular tapas. Something for every taste and budget at the dessert booth in Clinton. Visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the Shops at 25 West for an ever-changing selection of antiques and collectibles from over a dozen antique dealers. Upstairs at the shops, find over 30 more vendors like Gaia's Garden for altered clothing and paper products by some extremely creative women. And we wear vintage clothing and accessories for those who like to dress up. There's also Jake's Bakes, handmade wheat-free treats for your dog. Visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the Shops at 25 West on your next visit to beautiful Canal Place in Little Falls. Spring color is peeking through at the Village Crossing. It's a great time for sales on winter clearance items, making way for new spring fashions arriving daily at the Village Crossing in Clinton.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley, we're going on a road trip.
This morning at 10 a.m., the Mohawk Valley Coin Club holds their annual coin show. Buy, sell, and trade coins and stamps from 10 to 4 today at the Deerfield Volunteer Firehouse on Trenton Road in Utica. Admission is $1. A great place to enjoy a view of Herkimer is Herkimer County Community College. Up beyond the campus and behind the track and soccer fields is the Nature Center. This outdoor laboratory for science students is open to the public. The interpretive trail has informative markers, a pond with a picnic area, a bluebird trail, and several benches and shelters. You can download a free detailed trail guide to the Herkimer County Community College Nature Trail at our website, MohawkValleyLiving.com.
To the muffler and the cap, farewell, Rhondda Valley girls, we never will come.
We travel north on Route 28 along the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway and turn right on Shells Bush Road and over the West Canada Creek.
Boys will be in London soon. Now my father was a miner, and his father was before him.
This is beautiful country, and believe it or not a bad place for a vineyard. At least that's what John McDonnell thought several years ago when he planted his first grapes. Since then, he's had a couple of harvests and more than a couple of awards. After the success of his first vintage of Vignoles, he has added to his vineyard Baco Noir and Vidal Blanc.
Valley girls, we never will come back. The mines they are.
For those of you who think you have to travel all the way to the Finger Lakes or to Ithaca to find wineries, that's not true. You can come here to Herkimer, and right here in the hillsides of this beautiful countryside, there's a winery, and it's Donald's. In the tanks behind me is last year's harvest, where the wine is presently fermenting and should be ready in about, how long did you say? About a month.
You can purchase the award-winning wines from Donald Vineyards at most wine stores, or visit their shop online at donaldwine.com. We head further north along the scenic byway and then head west into the hills on seasonal Caldwell Road to the Jones family farm. This small diversified farm specializes in all-natural cheeses, grass-fed meats, and free-range eggs for fine restaurants, retail stores, and local families.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley.
We were originally from Wisconsin. We moved to Massachusetts about 15 years ago, and when we drove through, we just noticed how pretty it was. And it kind of made a mental note about it, and when we decided to move again, this is where we started to look. Well, we moved here in 2004. We decided we wanted to have a small, sustainable farm where we're trying lots of different things. We started with goats, we started with chickens, and we started selling at local farmers markets. And people kept asking us for more things. They found out we had goats. Do you do cheese? So, all right, we'll do goat cheese. So we built a cheese plant, and we're doing pasture poultry. We're doing lots of different things, and that's how we got to today. We have about 100 goats and sheep, and they have about 100 babies every year. So at the moment, we have well over 200 goats and sheep. We have about 150 laying hens. We will do about 1,000 chickens this summer for meat, and that's it for animals. Then we also do cheese. We've been selling the goat meat to the Bosnian community in Utica for quite a few years now. It's actually an attachment to their home. You know, it reminds them of home, and they'll come every weekend and pick out something special for whatever celebration they have going on. But the popularity is broadening. We have more and more people buying goat meat at our farmers market. We love raising our children here, and they have the full farm experience. They get to run down to the creek, they get to play with the animals. We really couldn't ask for a better life.
You can find Jones Family Farm products at local farmers markets this summer and at the Food Shed Buying Club in Utica. For a sale at the Little Falls Co-op, Peters Cornucopia, and the Adirondack Cheese Company. Also served at the Bagel Grove and fine local restaurants. Visit our website for information.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley. We're going on a road trip. Come on along.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner Auto. Check out the Chrysler 200 Touring with just announced 0% financing for 72 months, or take the $3,000 consumer rebate. Just one of the many great deals you'll find right now at Skinner Auto in Richfield Springs. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. The Longaretta Law Firm, protecting your rights and advising you in matters of legal importance. Call for your free consultation, 735-6162. The Arkell Museum at Canajoharie brings great art and music to the Mohawk Valley. On March 25th, enjoy a concert with Gail Ross and Jerry Exline, and the Bluegrass Folk and Western Swing of Amy Gallatin and Stillwaters on March 31st. Call the Arkell Museum for tickets. Visit Trenton Teas for a delicious variety of fine teas, or arrange your own tea in the tea room. If you haven't been to a high tea, you're in luck. Trenton Teas is presenting a St. Patrick's High Tea on March 17th. Call 797-2181 for reservations. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. If you're a nature lover looking for some elbow room, check out this beautiful Tug Hill property north of Camden. Over 200 acres of fields, woods, snowmobile trails, ponds, and streams, and even a 2,200-foot airstrip for visiting pilots. Call 525-5578. Savor the flavor of authentic Southeast Asian cuisine at the Lotus Garden Noodle and Sushi House. The Pooh family welcomes you to lunch or dinner at the Lotus Garden, 339 Bleecker Street in downtown Utica. If you're in a collision, you need precision. Call your insurance company first and then choose Precision Unlimited, providing expert auto body collision repair since 1987 on Route 5 in Clinton. It's the Palm Sunday open house at Chester's Flowers. Enjoy the duckling display on Saturday, March 31st and Palm Sunday, April 1st. Floral designers showcase their talents, and Chetty the Rabbit will be there, so bring your camera to the Palm Sunday open house at Chester's Flowers.
We hope that you enjoyed today's show. I presently am in the center of Myers Park in the heart of Herkimer. It's here that the Easter egg hunt will be held next Saturday. You may want to come down to join the parents and the grandparents and the little kids. Next week, we will be exploring more of the Southern Adirondack Scenic Byway. We'll also be celebrating the official animal of New York State. To find out what that animal is, tune in next week. And between now and then, enjoy Mohawk Valley living.
Got a head like a bee.